Hold on.
We're already live. Here we are.
Hey, everybody. Happy March the 11th.
Happy Daylight Savings Day. Spring.
Yes. Hope everybody got an extra good hour of sleep.
No, you lost the hour, Kevin.
No, I thought we got an hour.
No. You lost. You spring forward.
Trash.
Fall back, homie. Fall back.
Well, I thought it was spring forward. No, it is spring forward.
It is spring forward.
So what happens when you spring forward, Kevin?
I don't know. I thought you get an extra hour, but I guess not. Well, it is okay. I slept early, woke up early, so it didn't really matter. But hopefully everybody slept well. Here's another episode of Suffering Well with the Towns Sibs. So we were struggling to figure out what we wanted to talk about this week. So my dear sister Jordan came up with the idea of talking about the concept of masculinity. It is a interesting topic to discuss, and we haven't had the conversation, so this will be really good and interesting. And so in 30 minutes or less, we're going to talk about what it means to be a man. So, guys, how do you feel? What are your ideas of manhood? What are your thoughts about it? I think that's a good way to start.
So, everybody gotta be quiet, okay? So I think that we're living in a society that's becoming more and more pluralistic. And I think I've made that statement before, but in this pluralistic society, our definitions of what manhood means is constantly evolving and becoming more inclusive. Can you guys hear me, or is it the giggles?
The giggles are just a little loud. That's cute, though.
So let's just allow this to happen for a little bit.
It's okay. So you feel like manhood is Jordan? You better pose. Okay.
I need you to stop.
Pose. Tyra Banks.
I need you to stop.
Pearls,
you give me Issa Rae. It's okay.
That's it. That's all. No more.
I think that was a compliment.
No more.
It is. Because she's bad too.
No more.
So, Jordan, Randy, as women, what are your views of masculinity?
Wait,
what do you think would be a man? Brandon took an intermission.
You don't want to?
What does it mean to be?
Are you back, Brandon?
Is it back to me?
Yep, go ahead, bud.
I just think that it's a pluralistic society, and I think that when we try to make these grand claims, these universal claims on what it means to be a man or what it looks like, we do a disservice to everyone who doesn't fit the mold.
That is so.
I think that to be male is one thing, that gets down to biology, but to be a man is very cultural. It's very subjective. So I think that it's really inappropriate to define masculinity in terms of what it means to be a man as if it's a one size fits all. That would be my perspective. But if you ask me, like, what does it mean to be a man? I couldn't answer. I would more so say, what type of man do I want to be? Or what does manhood look like for me? As in, like, this is my type of man, but you can have your type of man. But this is the man that I am.
It's very interesting that you bring that up, because I think that it is a very polarized society that we live in now, and so there is no one-size-fits-all for anything anymore, which is weird, because when you grow up thinking like there is just one idea of what a man is or what the role of a man is, and then to like get to a point where you don't where you feel like either you've accomplished and you met that, or that you're not it, and so then like you're suffering. And I think it's interesting that you say that, because I mean, I'm a traditionalist, so I think that I'm a traditionalist in like in the basic forms, I think. But I think when it comes to like what a man is, yeah, I traditionally still think of like a man.
Instead of what it is, I'm sorry to interrupt because
Yes.
we're very vague and we don't got a lot of time.
Oh, I was about to get to it.
I'm just maybe easier if you like. So what? When you think of man, what comes to mind as opposed to like what does it look like to be a man?
Like
You know?
characteristics.
Yeah,
That's
like
what I was about to
as,
get to. Dang.
okay.
Interjection.
I'm saying
So I think so. A prime example of what I think of a man to be is someone who knows how to change a tire. I think of that as being something that a man should do. That's just me. A man is strong. A man. I think men do tend to compartmentalize a lot of their emotions. They're providers. And it's not to say that this means that women can't do any of these things, but in my mind, when I think of a man, a provider, someone who is a protector, someone who leads, like oversight, or like, yeah,
You're
the head. I definitely think dominant. I
domineering.
struggle with that, just because like two men can be a dominant person, just like a dominant situation, I guess. But yeah.
That is.
What did you say, Jordan?
I think it's interesting that all the characteristics, typically we think of men, none of them are like loving, none of them are passionate, none of them are none of those things.
Those are feminine characteristics.
Said who?
I mean, those are generally associated with
said
women.
Who said they're
feminine? So there's feminine and there's masculine. Those are but feminine doesn't mean female. Masculine doesn't mean male. They're traditionally given to male and female. And
I agree.
Like, you can't say that to be a man is to be masculine. I think it's a spectrum. On one end you have masculine, on the other end you have feminine. But to be a man, number one, it differs from person to person, but it's on this moving spectrum.
So should the goal
same way to be a female or to be a woman, you're still on this moving spectrum. And you know, it's I can still be a man and be all the way on the feminine side. I can still be a man and be all the way on the masculine side. I can be a female all the way on the masculine side and the female side. From my perspective.
Nah, that's actually good. I think you do have to break it that way.
But I mean,
is the goal in the middle?
Can you talk one at a time?
Is the goal in the middle?
No, the goal is to be you, wherever you fall at on the spectrum.
But it changes because there's a difference between man and woman, and then masculine and feminine.
Absolutely.
I agree, and I think sometimes we intertwine those.
Yeah, I think to be a man, like like I said, there's male and then there's a man, and I think that the difference between a male and a man is like the maturity, like that's the like under 18 is considered a boy. You're still male. Once you're over 18, you're considered a man. Only thing difference is like more years, right? But then we know that it's not about the years that makes a man. It's about maturity and acceptance of responsibility, or becoming more of whatever type of person that you're going to be, you know? So I think that for me, like, to be a man is when you get to the point to where you take responsibility for wherever you are, or you become whoever you are, whether that's, you know, on the feminine end or the masculine end or in between. Like, it's just you become more of you. That'll be my interpretation.
woman too. So
So I was gonna say, so what's the difference between a man and a woman?
What's the difference in a man and a woman?
Yeah, if it's just
I
maturity.
don't think there's a difference in a man and a woman, because I think they're very fluid terms. I think there's a difference between sorry. I think there's a difference between male and female, but not necessarily a man and a woman. Because they're too fluid of terms.
And male and female is just the biology.
Male and female are about biology, absolutely.
And then what is men and women?
Men and women, it's yeah. So there's male and female. Male and female. So like male and female are, huh?
I'm about to take a class on this.
So male and female are more like they're the young and the old versions. They're the adolescents and the adults, right? So if you're under 18, you're male. Just like if you're 80, you're male, right? But there's a boy and there's a man. Huh?
get her body off the screen.
It's on the screen. We got to delete this one.
Well,
so I think that
pornography on ours.
we can probably block it out or something.
Okay. There's some stars over there or something.
I'll try. So yeah, male is like just like the boy, and it's like male is up here, is at the top, and then it branches down in between boy and then men.
Let me
And
ask
then
you a
females
question.
here
Wait.
and
That's just
girls and women. Huh?
Wait,
that's
do that again.
We are superheroes.
Can I ask a new question?
I need you to get down.
Come on, Black Panther, Ruby, Black Panther, Wakanda forever.
I'm kind of confused. So, Brandon,
Jesus,
in
God,
your
God,
diagram.
so Brandon, in your, I'm confused. And
Can we stop this one and start all over?
Please. I think everybody's